Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever instalment of the Inspired Bites here on the Inspired Podcast. This is a new little series I'm doing just to get quick fire, kind of rapid, inspiring bites of people's lives. And today I'm really privileged to have the first guest on the Inspired Bites as Cheniel. And anybody that knows Cheniel will know she is the most bubbliest person I possibly ever met. She could measure up to me on bubbly. She might actually be more bubbly than me, which I think is a challenge. I might set a challenge for her. But hello, Cheniel.
Hello, hi everyone.
Um, this girl is honestly, she has so much sass on the stage, and I can't wait to see her compete again at the Yemi finals. I had the privilege of sharing the weekend with her at Yemi last year. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chanel, and if I am saying your name right, I am saying it right.
Yes, you have it
Cool,
spot on. Not many
cool.
people, so you're doing great.
Because I'm so used to people saying my name is Mia, so it's fine. I don't know how they get it wrong, but it is Maya. Beside the point, tell me about yourself, a bit about your platform, and what you are doing in terms of your. I mean, I've already said you're doing Yemi, but what you're doing?
Well, yeah, as you said, so I am doing a Yemi this year in the Ms category. I'm representing South London for that. I'm really excited to go back for another year as first runner up last year. So let's hope I can take it away this year. Also, my platform is supporting women and families that are going through or have been through domestic abuse. And the charity that I support alongside that is Celeste. I'm originally from the beautiful island of Jamaica, so I'm very tropical. Maybe that's where all my bubbliness come from and all my energy. I've been told sometimes that, I probably have too much energy. So I guess this is where I burn it a little with my
There's
bubbliness.
never too much energy. I love a person who matches up to my energy because I have a lot of chaotic energy just going everywhere. So somebody that matches up to that is really,
Yeah.
really quite fun to have for me. So you said you grew up in Jamaica and you moved to the UK. How old were you?
Permanently, I moved here when I was 16, but I traveled back and forth. It was really hard at 16 moving away.
I can
Um,
imagine.
yeah, it was like let's just imagine any 16-year-old can probably imagine your life. You get a phone call from your mom saying, "Oh, I've booked a flight for you next week." A week, 1 week I had to tell everyone bye and just
Oh God.
move
Thank God.
away.
So, growing up in Jamaica and moving to the UK, obviously things and culture are very different. It's two very, very different lifestyles, and you're obviously at an age where you knew what your heritage was, what your culture was, and you moved into this whole new gross, wet country with little to no sun. And it's what was that like for you, that transition at that age?
It was hard. One because I felt like I didn't have much time to really get to terms with it. Really, I said got 1 week, and I was like, pack my stuff and let's go. And I arrived here permanently in January, so it was cold, like bitter cold. So I've left sunshine for like freezing weather. Um, I think most difficult part for me was definitely going to school here. And because in Jamaica we're really strict with absolutely everything, with uniform, respect, everything. Like I couldn't walk and not say good morning to like all my elders walking by. So that I had to get used to. And it was, the culture wise was like different. I believe a lot of kids got away with like everything in the classroom, which for me I was like looking like this all the time. And I remember going home to my mum and like crying a bit because I almost felt like because I had to meet new friends, it was really hard for me at 16 when you think you develop your personality, you kind of know who you are. And I almost had to like go in a shell a lot because one, I didn't have this British accent I have now. I was like very raw. And people would stick out, oh, you sound different type of thing. So that also made me a bit shy. But I did eventually find some friends that had my personality, like the bubble energy that I could relate to. And, that helped me along the way. And that's the reason why I kind of got into pageantry, because I did my first pageant at 19, which for me, I still was like at the age where I didn't really set in that much. So when I did pageant, I did Miss Jamaica UK because I was thinking, oh, it will remind me of home, and at the same time, maybe I can meet some other like friends like that know of it and stuff. And it definitely did. I would say I walked away from that experience with new friends that I have now, and also the fact that I got the pageant bug and I kept on doing pageants. Now I feel like I have a whole sisterhood. I had an extended family away. So now I'm all comfortable, relaxed. I've got put my feet in and lot, but it was difficult, but I definitely overcame it, I would say.
And that is, that alone, if we take away your platform, the fact that you moved at an age where you should kind of, where you are, you have your personality, like you're not still kind of growing up, you're in a way you're almost ready to be an adult,
Yeah,
and you've moved, and especially 16 in the UK, you're sitting your GCSEs, you're thinking about what you want to do for your A levels, you're thinking about what you want to do at university, and those things are really scary
yeah,
alone. Throw into the fact you've got to make a whole new group of friends, basically shift your lifestyle around. That is, I bow down to you, because I couldn't have done it. I At 16, I don't think I would have been able to cope, to be quite honest. So
oh, I
that
didn't think
alone
I would have.
is really inspiring to for you to be able to say, well, yeah, I threw myself in at the deep end at age 16 and basically had to relive a whole section of my life, which is
Yeah,
crazy. So taking it back to your platform, which is helping children and the families who have gone through domestic abuse, that is really important at the moment. Obviously, being in lockdown, I've seen a few news articles which are saying that, domestic abuse has gone up 300-400%,
yeah,
which
massively.
is a huge increase. And I think that as much as the victims need the support, because they're the ones that are physically dealing with it, the children and the family and the people around them, they're also affected in a way, and that's not talked about. It's very taboo, as
Yeah,
you've said before. It's a very taboo subject. So tell me a little bit about what you've been doing with that and how you've been interweaving that into your pageants.
yeah. So listen, for myself, that's another thing that I kind of overcome as well, because I lived in a household where domestic abuse was present, and also back home in Jamaica, it's almost like a regular thing for that happens a lot. So I've kind of been experiencing it through all my childhood, let's say, and witnessing it, seeing it there. And the one thing I would say, I came out of that a little bit more, even more timid and shy, because I would be scared of like even having any sort of boyfriend, because I would think the automatic thing that comes to my head is like, oh, one day you're going to hit me, or expect me to do what you want. And it's almost a sense, because for me, even now, I don't want to be controlled. So that's quite a big thing for me, being controlled, not being told what to wear, what to do. So for as growing up younger and coming into that in my adult life, it was a really much of a struggle in learning the line or coming across it. And I definitely, that's why once I had the opportunity to go out and do my own research, and also having a voice and where I could support others, I've taken the opportunity to do so. And that's why it's so important to me, because at this time, especially during lockdown, those kids, for example, that used to be able to escape their homes with schools or clubs or just little things, they're now at home, experiencing that and seeing it all happening, because the numbers have gone rocket high. It is seriously the calls that my chosen charity is Celeste, and they've been overwhelmed with a lot of calls as well in their call centers. And in this time that we're in, it's really hard, in the sense that, one, you're already locked in your home, nowhere to go, and then two, having an abuser. And a lot of people need to get into knowledge. It's not always about the getting hit as well. It's also the verbal that cause mental, make a woman or even a child in a home feel not so worthy of themselves, and you live with that for almost your whole life. Some people never overcome it,
Yep.
and then you have that it's almost like you label yourself as not good enough because you've heard all these things or witnessed it. So that's why for me, I've have that as my platform to spread the awareness about it, so others can hear and understand that what we can do. And also I've raised money. Last year I did a clothes donation, like a collection donation, because a lot of families, when they do leave their homes, or when the women decide I'm going to leave and take my children, it's not about, oh, let's pack, because you don't have the time to do that. It's just like, let's get out.
Opportunity. It's right.
Yeah.
Let's go now.
Once the opportunity comes, it's like, just get out. So sometimes they leave without like enough clothes or food, anything. So that's why I did that clothes collection and donation last year, to help those women. So I had a mixture of type of clothes for children, and everything, and donated those to local shelters, for them to be able to use that. And this year, because of the situation, my main focus is to raise money for Celeste's emergency appeal, where at the moment they have you could follow the hashtag stay safe at home, where because of lockdown, due to the peak of the numbers and so forth, just to raise money and give them the extra help that they can get, to hopefully be able to help more women and more families, especially because they're not just taking in one person. Sometimes they're taking 3 kids as well. So those are the things that I'm trying to focus on during my time in lockdown, just to see what I can do. I have a quiz night coming up as well, that I want to be able to, £3 an entry might not be a lot for us, but when we all come together and put it together, that will be amazing funds to put across to the charity.
Yeah. And I think that what you are doing is so important at the moment, and it's not being talked about in the news. You're hearing about the numbers of deaths with coronavirus, the numbers of blah, 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 all to do with just actually people becoming infected, but there's not the amount of deaths that are coming from abuse because of coronavirus, the amount of people that are going physically like put into hospitals because of the abuse from a coronavirus. They may not, because it's these are numbers that are not being looked at, and people aren't talking about them. I don't hear people on the news talking about the fact that there are people being abused at home, and it happens anyway. And unfortunately that is the way that this society has run. There are people that do abuse their families, and there are men that are getting abused by their wives. There are children that are getting abused by both their parents, and it's not talked about, and that really does need to be brought to the forefront of people's attention, because
definitely
there are people that are just living their day-to-day lives. You could be walking past somebody's house and there's a child getting abused, there's a mother getting abused, and you would never know. And that is really, really heartbreaking. And I think that I had no idea you were doing a quiz night. Now I know. I'm there. I'm there if I can be. We do have the Yemi quiz on a Friday, so I don't think I can get out of that one again. Last week I was like, right, I've got to cook. I forgot I had to cook, so it got to like 9 o'clock. I was like, oh my god, I haven't cooked yet. But thank you so much for talking about that. That is something that I'm so proud to have on the Inspired podcast, because it is a really inspiring thing to be doing, to have somebody who has not only seen it through their own eyes, but somebody who is actually using what they've gone through to make changes. And there are people that are survivors that make changes, and there are people that have watched it and they are making changes and making waves, and that's really important. I do kind of just want to talk to you a little bit about Yemi, because you're now in your second year. You were first runner-up last year, which I know how it feels to come away being first runner-up, and now you're going back. So what are you doing? Have you got any of your outfits? Have you got anything sorted? I'm excited. Tell me about it.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't say I have anything sorted. I have a lot in the pipeline. My brain goes everywhere, and I will probably change my outfit in my mind like 100 times before I actually go, this is what I want. All my outfits as well, even if I get something, a dress for example, I always try to make it my own, and I work with my designer, which is actually, he's also Caribbean, where he makes it different, because to me it's important. One, I can get my personality within my outfit, and it to be very unique and different, because I consider myself as that. And it's important as well that my gems on my outfit does reflect like my Carnival Caribbean side. So all of those things, I want to get into everything. So I already have my Evelyn dress. It's actually before lockdown managed to make it to my designer's house. So got it all, and so it's all coming together. It's a very bright color, so I can't wait. And I actually had my hot glue gun delivered today, so I have my red, white, and blue rhinestones to get in on my shoes. So I can't wait.
Oh my god, I'm so excited because I absolutely loved your fashion wear last year. We were a couple. There were a few yellow fashion wears up on the stage, and we were both wearing yellow fashion wears.
Yeah.
So I saw a yellow tassel. I was like, hello, that's a good choice. That's a really good choice. So literally, is there anything that you are, aside from your quiz, is there anything that you want people to kind of check in on? Have you got any campaigns going at the moment that you want people to join in on? I know that today it probably will be a bit late, but it's the wearing jeans.
Yeah, I've already made sure I've got my post out with that.
I've got to do my post later on after we're finished up here. But is there anything that you are doing personally that you think some girls could be able to join in on?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a fundraiser as we speak, so I hope to get that out by the end of this week. So I don't want to disclose it yet because I haven't finalized everything. But the main thing for me that I'm doing is my quiz, and I'm also joining the 2.6 challenge, where you can donate, and you can decide to challenge me to different activities. So there's 2.6 or 26 for me to do something, and it's just a little less £2. Again, that money raised will be going towards Celeste's emergency appeal as well. And it's just important that for everyone, just really do stay safe. And if you are going through domestic abuse at this moment or witnessing it, I'm here if you want to talk, message me. Even if you don't want to mention it, I have a thing where, you can talk about lipstick. So you can message me about lipstick, and, at least then I can know that if you need my help, that's my way to help you. But just really stay safe, and just remember that you are not alone. That's the most important thing, because I know sometimes you're really scared because you want to keep it private. You don't want people to know that you're going through this. But just remember, you're not alone, and we're here to support. So if you need anything, you can reach out to me.
That is really, really touching. And I think that if you are going through it, again, I'm exactly the same. Even if it's not domestic abuse, even if it is something personal that's going on in your life, my inbox is always open. I am somebody that is so non-judgmental that you could message me about the leaves falling off the trees, and I would be like, you know what, I agree with you. I don't like those leaves falling off the trees.
Have the full conversation.
I will have that full conversation with you. So is there anywhere, obviously you've said that people can contact you, how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is my name, Cheniel_. So easy to follow. You can message me there. And also my Facebook is just Cheniel Henderson. So really nice and easy to be found. And that's where you can find me. I don't really do Twitter.
I will link Cheniel's information down below. So if you just want a clickable link, it will all be down below. All of my links will be clickable down below. Thank you guys for listening to this Inspired Bites. I would love to actually have Cheniel on for a full episode that isn't so short and sweet, and get to actually talk to you about kind of your childhood and growing up in Jamaica. So we'll leave that for a whole episode, and we can arrange that at another time. But thank you so much for being here with me and for bearing with my internet and my needing to clean my house. But thank you so much, and I hope to see you another time. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.